Run. I get that cash and I flip it, yeah. I get that cash and I flip it.
Hello to all my cherry bombs. It is me, Cherry, and I'm back with another video. And I want to get everybody's thoughts and opinions on this Euphoria season finale because the show has been bomb.com, like literally so bomb. But the season finale, to me, I was underwhelmed. I'm not even gonna lie, I was very underwhelmed. So if you all are interested in hearing my thoughts on the season finale, please go ahead and stay tuned to this video. If this is your first time seeing me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up so more people can find my content, and then also turn on your post notifications because I am very sporadic with how I post and you just never know when you're gonna see me. Also, shout out to this hair. This is Sealy hair. This is not a sponsored video. I just really love their hair so much. Probably one of the best vendors on AliExpress, but also one of the most low-key ones just because a lot of people don't know about Sealy hair, and I don't know how you couldn't know. I mean, I don't know how you just couldn't. I don't understand. So yeah, shout out to this hair. I've had this hair for over a year, but that's not what this video is about. So let's get right into it. So if you guys have not seen the season finale of Euphoria, or if you have not yet started watching Euphoria, click out of this video. Do not watch this because I'm giving spoilers and I'm literally like spilling the tea. So don't watch this video if you haven't seen the season finale. Go watch that and then come back. With the season finale, I think I just expected more of like something to happen. Like I expected something bigger, I think. Like there was so much build up and the delivery of the season finale, like I was expecting like something huge to happen, and that's not what I got. So I was kind of like, oh, damn it. But at the same time, you guys, the show, phenomenal. And the reason I really love this show and why I was hooked on every episode is because I get so tired of the typical high school depiction of these baby ass high schoolers with no real issues and no real problems and no real drama and just no real any everyday life. Everything is so like daisies and flowers, and high schoolers are just so innocent and they all still wear like these like just innocent turtleneck clothes and they just follow everything their mommy says. And I'm just like, I don't know about y'all, but at my high school, like if we want to be honest about what the high school experience is like for a lot of people, it is not what they be depicting on TV. Like the most drama is, oh my God, so-and-so stole my lunch. At my high school, they was having big mansion parties. They were having orgies at these mansion parties. Like literally, I went to high school with like a mix of everybody when it comes to like social economic class. I just went to high school with a little bit of everybody, and so some of them kids were coming from families with money, and so they literally would have these huge orgies. The white kids would be out here getting mono from these huge ass orgies they was having, because the black kids weren't going and participating in these. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a book. The white kids would get mono after they had or mono, however you say it, after they had these huge orgies. And they would have like these big parties. Now the parties everybody would go to, like the parties would be like drugs, alcohol, pool tables, beer pong, like literally like full of just, you walk in the parties full of smoke, everybody's blowing it down. Somebody's aunt just went away for the weekend or whatever, and her big ass house is open to the public because that's just what we did. Like, or we had like bonfires, and at the bonfires everybody was also still doing drugs and hooking up and getting drunk. And I don't like high school like shows just don't be depicting this because I guess they feel like it's not safe content, but it's like it's real content. Like people are getting pregnant in high school, like as we seen with Cassie. And I'd be tired of seeing, like, I personally don't, I'm phasing out of the whole like watching the high school plots and stuff just because I am getting older. So I be liking to watch stuff that's a little more like centered around people my age. So I'm kind of like, I'm phasing out of it, but at the same time, some of the shows are still really good. Like 13 Reasons Why season 1 was really good. I like stuff like that where they touch on real issues. Like even with 13 Reasons, like people act so, people just act like they need people to cradle them when it comes to the realities of real life ish. Like people in high school, there are people out here who have eating disorders, who are self-harming, who are going through, people are spreading their revenge porn. Like there's just real life things happening to people in high school. So I really even appreciated 13 Reasons Why for bringing awareness to the issue of kids self-harming or things like that. Like granted, it did get a little graphic. I probably could have lived without that piece, but I also at the same time don't hate that piece either. And I'm actually like, it's like weird. It's like I could have lived without it, but I'm glad they gave it to us. Like honestly, I am. Because again, real life ish. And I feel like Euphoria has done a great job of doing the same, giving us real life ish. Everything is not all dandelions and flowers and make a wish. It's your 18th birthday and you're just so upset because your parents didn't give you a car. No, sometimes it's make a wish because your sister is in rehab for the 3rd time and you wish that she would sober the fuck up. That's real life shit. So I really appreciate Euphoria giving us that. Like Euphoria, baby, it gave everything I needed in a show about high school life. And honestly, it gave what Skins would have gave if people had a thicker skin. No pun intended. But it gave what the American Skins would have given us. Like granted, they're kind of more on the lighter side of things. But honestly, from what I remember, even from watching the British version, they weren't always on the lighter side of things. Now, granted, I never finished all the seasons for the British version, but I just remember British Skins the plot was epic. It was so good. The only reason, as messed up as it is, you guys, the only reason I never finished British Skins is because I sometimes have trouble watching shows where nobody in the show is like aesthetically pleasing to look at. And just from what I remember back then as a kid trying to watch Skins, nobody on the show was like pleasing to look at. So I literally was just like, I can't even. But on the American version of Skins, they had people who were like, they were just the cast was pleasing to look at. They was bomb. They were trendy. Like we were about to get our whole lives off of the American Skins. And people just couldn't handle it. Like people act like they can't handle seeing real shit on TV. Like literally you have action movies with people getting blown up and killed, but then people can't handle the depiction of high schoolers being high schoolers. Like unless it's some That's So Raven version of high school. Like y'all grow up. And if it's an issue of, oh, well, I don't know if I want my kids to see this, make sure you're watching it with your kids, or you're monitoring what your kids are watching, or just make sure you're having the discussions you need to have with your kids after you watch these shows. Because honestly, to me, and I know I'm ranting right now, but honestly to me, trying to shield your kids from seeing anything ever is the worst move you can make. Personally, to me it is, because when you do that, you create kids who are very naive to the reality of the world, and then they go into the world and they don't know how to conduct themselves, and they aren't on game about how people might try and get over on them. They aren't on game about they're not secure enough in themselves to say no to a lot of things. You send your kid out there ill-equipped to deal with the reality of reality, and then you're confused why your kid isn't adjusting well to real life. People need to stop trying to hide everything from their kids and just have the difficult conversations that come with their kids seeing certain things. Anyway, now that all that is said and I have gotten done with my little rant, I'm going to get into what I felt about this season finale of Euphoria. So in the season finale, I think the reason that I wasn't really I didn't feel like it gave me what I needed is because I know that shows, the whole point of a season finale to get you to go into the next season and be so curious about it is to leave a loose end or two. You know what I mean? Like, you have to. That's what's gonna draw people back in and want to see what's going on next season. But I feel like Euphoria gave us nothing but loose ends. And I'm just like, Zendaya, Drake, I need to talk. Like, y'all are playing with my emotions right now. Like, I need to talk. I was over here ready. Like, I'm literally like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then I didn't get the answers to anything. And I'm just like, the audacity. The motherfucking audacity. How dare you leave me hanging like that? So as far as the loose ends, you guys, we have one scenario where Fez is going after his plug distributor, whatever you want to say. Fez has followed his distributor to the house where he gets all. I can't remember the bigger one's name, like the one that Fez works under. I can't remember his name. But he follows him to this basically very wealthy man's house, and all the drugs are coming from this wealthy doctor man. Fez robs him, and then in turn turns around and gives the money, because y'all remember, Fez got raided. Fez got raided because punk ass. Oh, I can't stand Nate. I can't stand him, because I feel like everybody be letting Nate say whatever the hell he wants to say. They'll kind of go back and forth with him for a minute, but I feel like nobody really steps to Nate the way that he needs to be stepped to. Nate is like this reigning character of just like superiority, and nobody challenges his superiority. Like, everybody's kind of like scared to go against Nate because his family is really known and he's like this big dude and all this other stuff. So anyway, Fez's crib got raided because Nate is a snitch ass bitch, and in turn, because all of his drugs had to be flushed, he had to find a way to get the money back for all the drugs that were flushed. So we see the scene where he robs the wealthy man, he gets the money from him, and then he turns around and uses that money to pay off his supplier. Now, the issue is, and the loose end that we get with this scenario, is the fact that while they're counting the money, the dude that be with the supplier, the supplier's bitch, is counting the money, and he sees blood on the money. So he looks up kind of like, oh, where'd you get this money from? And Fez is over there playing it cool, like, we good? And the dude who is over, like, those two is looking at him, and he gives him this look, and he pauses, and he don't really say nothing. And then it cuts to another scene. So I'm like, is Fez dead? Is he not dead? Like, what's going on with Fez? What just happened to Fez? Like, I need to know. Like, that's my nigga. I need to know. I like Fez. He cool. So we don't know what happens to Fez. That's one of our loose ends out of many, which again, I would have been cool with like one or two loose ends, but every character in the story basically ended up with a loose end that we don't know what's gonna happen next. And I'm just like, y'all couldn't have given us one. Y'all couldn't have given us the tea for one of them. Y'all did a beautiful job. This show is epic, and I love every second of it. And that's why I feel so emotional right now, because I'm just like, so anyway, so then you also have this situation with Cassie, who is like basically like the school hoe, and Cassie is very known for being very easy, but I don't know, it's like weird, because I feel like Cassie is this character where it's like basically portrayed that she doesn't really have anything to her except for her good looks and the fact that she's easy. And I guess I just really be wanting Cassie to prove everybody wrong, and like, and have this in-depthness about her that I'm hoping that she develops. But in this season, she hasn't really developed. Like, it's there, but it's not there. Or I think it's there, but she just chooses to hide it because it feels better to play dumb. Honestly, that's what I get from Cassie. She has the ability, she has the range, but it is easier to numb herself by having sex, and so she chooses to play dumb. So we have this scenario where her and McCrae, I'm gonna say the black character because that's what he is, because there's only one. Y'all did a good job with this show, but that part. So her and McCrae are in this relationship, and they're all in love, and they fell in love all quick and stuff, and she ends up getting pregnant. She misses her period in one of the earlier episodes, so she's pregnant, and her and him have this conversation, and she asked him, and she's like, can we just pretend for a second, basically like just pretend that this scenario is in a better light per se. And they end up, McCrae is like, oh, I'm not ready to have a kid, da, da, da. And I'm over here like, well, little baby, you the one that you had sex with her, so clearly you ready for something, so go ahead, do what you need to do. But he doesn't do what he needs to do. In turn, he is a scared college student and isn't ready for that. And so it is kind of implied that he's like, you need to take care of this. And so in the season finale, we see her go and she gets the abortion done, but then it's like, so are you and McCrae still a thing? Like what's going on there? Are y'all, because McCrae is not in the season finale at all, so it's like, are y'all still a thing? Are y'all gonna discuss this? Like what's next? You went and you got this abortion, and now what? Like, what is the next thing for y'all's relationship? Like, are y'all going to work through this, or are y'all done? Like, are you gonna go off on somebody? Because that tends to be her answer for numbing her feelings. So I'm just like, okay, another loose end. Y'all, why'd you do me like this? Why'd you do me like this? So then switch over to Zendaya and Hunter Schafer's character. So Jules and Rue, which, by the way, Hunter Schafer representing for the 919 from Raleigh, if anybody didn't know. I googled it. So we switch and we have those two characters, and they are in this turmoil too, because Rue isn't, I don't know if Rue is more so if it's a case of she is struggling to be okay with her sexuality, or if it's more of a case of she as a character is just a naturally more timid and sensitive character. Because that's kind of what I'm getting from her character, is that either she isn't comfortable approaching Jules the way that she needs to in order to let her know that she like really is with her. I don't know if it's more so because she is shy, or because she is unsure of herself, or then maybe it's also because of the fact that she just has so much inner turmoil going on with the whole addiction and her father passing away and that whole aspect of things. Like, I'm kind of unsure why it is that Rue is so hesitant to act on her feelings towards Jules, because I mean, on one end I do get that she doesn't want to jeopardize the friendship or make the friendship weird, but at the same time she also is madly in love with this girl. And Rue kind of has these moments where sometimes she's like more so, I don't know if I would say assertive, but she's very sure of herself and she's very rebellious. And then she has other instances where she gets around Jules and she's a completely different person. She's very sensitive, she's very timid, she kind of lets Jules drive the boat and she just be a passenger on the boat. And so we have this situation where I guess it is Rue's idea to run away with Jules. And y'all know from watching the show, Jules about it, because Jules is really like a nomad. She literally bounces around. She goes where the wind blows her. Jules, I feel like, has to be a Sagittarius, because that's literally us in a nutshell. But at the same time, I also be kind of confused, because it's like Jules has a dad though, and her dad be at the house. So I'm like, yo, daddy don't be wondering where you are, because Jules just be out here, boy. She just be living her best life. She be bouncing around. Baby be moving. Like, baby be moving. I kind of be wondering if Jules' dad, like, just, why does he not be caring where you at all times? But at the same time, that's still legit though, because some people, again, growing up in high school, you always had those people where their parents just let them do whatever, and they might be gone for 2 or 3 days, and the parents was just kind of like just out of touch, like literally. So we have this scene where Jules is about it, she's ready to go, and Rue freezes up. And I can't remember if it was while she was freezing up or after the scene where she froze up, if it started playing the flashbacks to the arguments with her mom, her sister walking in and finding her OD'd, her dad on his deathbed, and her discovering these painkillers so that she could numb her feelings about the situation. It starts somewhere in that area is where those flashbacks start, and it kind of alludes to the fact that Jules is taking into consideration all the shit that she's put her family through already. Well, the remainder of her family, because her dad isn't here to see this, but it starts flashing back to the times where she's put her sister and her mom through shit. And I want to say that maybe this was during the train scene, because ultimately that is why she doesn't get on the train with Jules. So Jules is going to wherever. Another loose end, because where is Jules going? Jules, girl, where are you going? You didn't show us no itinerary, no nothing. Where are you going? I want to know. Okay, I want to know. And because Rue is the one who thought of the idea, I especially want to know where Jules is going, because where did Rue think that they were going to go? Like, where are y'all going? Are y'all going to start a new life? Are y'all going to like what was the plan? Like, it was very vague, like vague as hell. So I'm just like, what are we doing? I need to know what's going on, y'all. Give me a little bit. God dang, like, I'm over here shook and confused. And then we also see that the reason that Rue is always wearing this burgundy hoodie is because the hoodie is her dad's, y'all. Now, I know this portion of the episode was very emotion provoking for most people watching. I think the majority of the crowd probably like saw that part and was like, oh my god. For some reason, I did not like, and I'm the type to get attached to characters and like really like be like, oh my god. But for some reason, when that part, like when that discovery was made a thing, I just didn't, it didn't grab me. Like, I didn't feel the grab. Like, and it wasn't because of the acting or anything like that, because every actress on the show is phenomenal, like literally phenomenal. Like, this show is a bop. Like, this show is bomb.com. But for some reason, like, I don't know, that part didn't grab me. And I've had a lot of show moments where I just felt like literally they took the air out my chest. Like, show moments where I was crying because like they just made me feel like, for example, Pose. Every episode I see of Pose, I have a moment where I start almost crying or I start crying. Y'all, literally every single episode, Pose grabs my emotions and just pulls them out of me. I have no control when I'm watching that show. So I didn't feel that in that moment where I discovered that the jacket was actually her dad's. I'm not sure why, because most people did. But it was a beautiful moment. And you're just like, oh my god, like, that's why she never takes this hoodie off. That is why she's always wearing this hoodie. So they did a great part with executing it. I just personally, I don't know. Like, maybe I know I'm not a cold ass bitch because I'm very emotional. So I don't know why it didn't get me. But, and so that's another loose end, is where is Jules going and what is Rue about to do now that Jules is gone. Then we also have this loose end with Nate and his girlfriend, oh my god, what's the girlfriend's name? I wish I could remember her name or the girl that plays her. The girl that plays her is so cute. She is so pretty. And then not only that, I love her aesthetic. Like, if you go on her Instagram, the aesthetic for her Instagram, phenomenal. But I cannot remember her name in the I don't know why it's slipping me. The other loose end that we have with her is that she has come across Nate's dad's pedophilic, if that's a word, fetishy, like, porn. if you would say, or not even his sex tapes. And so she is in possession of one that she took from Nate's house as he was showering. They had like an argument, and she takes this tape from Nate's house. And so now she is in possession of his dad's secret stash of sex tapes, one of them, and she has watched the tape, but we don't get a like, so are you going to confront Nate about the tape? Are you going to use it to your advantage to kind of like stand up to him? Because it's been referenced several times throughout the show that you really have no backbone when it comes to him. He can hit on you, he can lie on you, he can talk to you any type of way. He's very abusive, controlling. He talks down to her a lot. He's very condescending, he's very degrading when he talks to her. And she's just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna love you regardless, which it pisses me off, but I love it at the same time. And I love it because it is so true to the girls out here who are in these situations where it's like, you know, in the perfect world, like if this was perfect TV, which is why I also like it, because it's just, it doesn't give you the little fairy tale scenario that you want. Like the scenario where it's like, she discovers her self-worth and she decides she's not going to put up with this shit anymore, and she breaks up with him because he is just not good for her. It doesn't give that. The show doesn't give us that. Maybe it will in later seasons, but it doesn't give us that right now. What it's giving us right now is high school girl that is not sure of herself. She doesn't know her self-worth, and because of that, and because she's itching so much for love, she's willing to accept it in any form. Even if it's very toxic and unhealthy and very acidic, she still is totally here for it because she is in love, and love knows no boundaries, and she is willing to lie for him, and she's willing to take the hits, and she's willing to put his feelings before hers. And I feel like even though I hate it, just because me as a person, like I'm very much so not like that, but because I understand that this is real life, that's why I say I love it, because it doesn't give you that perfect scenario where she's like, oh, I'm about to stop dealing with you. It more so frustrates you and takes you through the motions and frustrations of somebody who is from the outside looking in at an abusive relationship. And more so, like, it gives you that feeling of when you're telling a friend or something like, girl, you don't deserve this, you're so much better than this, oh my gosh, like, why do you keep taking this? And it's like us as the viewers are like, we're saying all these things, and for her as the emotional teenage girl, it's just like love is blind and she just goes with it. So I'm like, is the tape gonna be her moment of glory, or is she going to protect the tape? Or like what's going on with the tape? Like, what's going on with this tape? And then it's like, is she gonna expose the tape, or is Nate gonna figure out that she has the tape before she can do anything with the tape? And what is he gonna do if he figures it out? So that is another loose end that we have, because we don't know what she's gonna do with this tape. We don't know what he's gonna do when he finds out about the tape, or you know, or how that's gonna go. We have no idea. I am out of breath talking about all these loose ends because there were so many. Why did y'all do this to us? Why did y'all do this to us? This is so sadistic that you would give us this many loose ends on a show. Like, how dare you? Like, at least with Power, it was just like, we don't know if Angela gonna be alive or dead. I hope that bitch is dead. I can't stand her character. Her as a person in real life, oh my god, she's beautiful, love her. But her character, I'm just like, oh, I hope Angie dies. Like, ugh. But Power, that was really like the main cliffhanger that we got. There were a little more, but that was like the main one, you know. And with Euphoria, it's like the whole thing was a cliffhanger. That's not fair. That's not fair. And then we also have, okay, so I went through Jules, I went through Rue's. I feel like Rue's sister needs more screen time, and I feel like she's going to get more, but that's besides the point. So we have Nate's loose end. McCrae, I'm like, is McCrae coming back to the show? Is he not coming back to the show? I know that everybody else is in high school and he's in college, but I'm also assuming that because they just all went to prom, that is everybody else going to be graduating, or like is everybody else going to be graduated in the next season, or are they juniors going to the prom? Like, what's the tea behind that? Like, is this their junior prom and then next season they're still going to be in high school, or is this their senior prom and next season everybody's going to be in college? And then what is up with McCray? Are we going to see him again? Are we not going to see him again? What is up with him? What is his response going to be to what Cassie got done? Have they discussed it? Is he on the same page? Like, I mean, clearly he didn't want the baby, so I would assume he was kind of on the same page. But I'm just like, I need the tea. Sis, I need the tea. I need some tea. I could have done a little bit of no tea, but you gave me all no tea. And I had my cup ready, and you didn't pour the tea into my cup. So now I'm just waiting. I'm just like, so are you pouring the tea or not? Like, so all in all, I think the show is phenomenal. It's so beautifully done. The actors and actresses are exceptional. I am so happy with how they portrayed all the characters. It's literally amazing, the emotions they're able to provoke from just like their skills. Like, I could never. But I also want to throw in, they do need a black girl. Just saying. These shows normally give us literally the only black girl that we get on these shows like this is always like the racially ambiguous mixed black girl as a representation for the black girl. And it's like, can we get an actual black girl on one of these shows? And not only that, can we get an actual black girl who's trendy and who is not like, it's like also when we get the black friends, we always get either she's very heavy set and the boys don't want her, they don't like her, or she's very skinny and pretty and just very like preppy and she's nasty, or her attitude is nasty, or she's like it's like we never get an in between. Like, why can't we get a slim thick black girl who the guys like, or, and when I say the guys like, can we get a slim thick black girl who all the guys like, who the Hispanic guys, the white guys, the black guys, like, where they all like her? Like, can we get a black girl who isn't scripted into this character where she ends up with the other one black character and that is their storyline and they barely get any screen time and we don't really hear about them? Like, I want a black girl on the show. I want a black girl who doesn't have to be full of attitude or educated. I want a black girl who's full of attitude and she's educated. I want both. I want a black girl on the show to challenge Nate ass. For real. I'm just saying. That's just something that I would like to see. And I want a black girl who change her hair up too. Like, we always get these characters where it's like when we get the black characters, again, when we're being true to high school narratives, like, not all these high schoolers always keep their hair the same. They're very on trend. Like, today's high schoolers, they wear makeup, they wear weave, they wear all this stuff. And I feel like whenever we get the black character, the black girl character, really all the characters, but especially with the black girl character, she never switches her hair up. Either it's natural and curly or it's weave and it's straight. And I want a black girl who we see with different hairstyles on every episode. I want a black girl who we see with weave in one episode, and then we see her with her natural out, and then we see her, on trend and following the trend. I'm tired of these preppy black girls that don't know how to dress on the show. Or we have the hood, overweight black friend who nobody wants because she has too much attitude and all this. Can we just get we have so much range, and I just want a black girl on a show who doesn't have to be one or the other. I want her to be both. Can we get a Bugetto, clatchet black girl who know how to turn up and is educated? Okay, I'm tired of seeing the black girl who, if she's educated, she's a stickler and she's an ice princess and never has any fun. And then if she has fun, she's uneducated and just... That's just a side note. I'm just saying that really has nothing to do with this video. But if the universe just hears my request, I'm just saying. But the show is beautifully done. I love the show. I cannot wait to see season 2. You guys, please leave your thoughts down below. Leave your comments, subscribe to my channel, and turn on my post notifications. And I will see you guys in the next video.